fit me. Welcome to the Prettiest podcast as a guest
Thank you.
and not my co-host.
I'm super excited to talk about this and just be here and not be the host, but be the guest.
Exactly. So I can't wait to get all of the tea. So let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
How was being away in Hawaii for what, 5 weeks as you take Temptation Island?
Honestly, like the experience was like no other. It was something that taught me a lot about myself, about building community, foundation, friendships, everything like that, and also just like what what triggers I had in my relationship, what came up, what it built up in me internally, and it made me show like my personal growth to myself, which is something that I feel like I really needed to see.
So I first have to say, for you all that have not seen Temptation Island season 2 on Netflix, you've got to go get into it. Of course, as a mom, I binged it in one day, as I was supposed to.
Exactly.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so amazing seeing you on the big screen.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God.
crazy.
And I was very proud of how you carried yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you talk about what were some of the hardest things for you while you were filming? Was it hard making friends with the girls in the villa? Like,
Yeah.
what was that like?
So, just like, first off, let's start with the cameras. There's humongous cameras that follow you around everywhere.
Okay.
So it's like being in that space and having to adjust, like, not only my mental to, okay, I'm being filmed and everything I'm saying, somebody's hearing 24/7, 25/8.
Right.
So that was like the first adjustment that I really had to make. But outside of that, you're going into a space with people you just met.
Right.
So I'm going to be living with three other girls and 12 guys, and it's like, wow, this is my life now. And it's like, I pray that like they can have my back and we'll get through it together, but you never know going into it.
Right.
But I can happily say that was the best group of people that I could have been there with. I felt so supported, I felt so loved. And it's like coming out of that not knowing is like what really made it full circle.
So you talked about the cameras being in your face. Was there a time where you were not mic'd at all?
Only when I went to bed. But even like when I would wake up and I would go to Shy's room, they would knock on the door and be like, "Hey, go come get mic'd." Like you could not have a mic on. Okay. Like they were always like,
right.
Yeah.
So were there some things that made you uncomfortable?
Not I wouldn't say necessarily uncomfortable because I felt like I was in a very safe space.
Okay.
But I would say there were some conversations that were off camera that were meant to persuade you one way more so than the other.
Okay. Can you give an example?
So after my first date with Xavier, I was thinking about taking Clint on my second date.
Oh, wow.
And, I was like, he reminds me more of Mikey. Like, he's more like high energy, funny.
Clint, the one with the blue eyes?
Cowboy hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was cute.
So I was like, like, I needed like a pick-me-up, kind of. And after having conversations with other people, they were just like, that doesn't really fit. Like, we want you to be with a man. We want you to be with somebody who sees you for who you are. And I'm like, okay, I guess that sounds good too. Mm-hmm. So I was just like more persuaded to go one way than the other.
Okay. So we've got to talk about Xavier.
Yes, we do.
How was that? Like, how did y'all really meet? Because I know we don't get to see everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also think that you knew him before the show because he's from the Harrisburg area.
Exactly.
So let's get that clear. Did you know Xavier before you went on to Temptation Island?
No.
Okay. So you did not know.
I did not know Xavier before I went on to Temptation Island. And actually, our first interaction is the one that you all saw.
Okay.
Which was him coming up to me and being like, hey, can I pull you for a chat? And we sat down and we talked about him being from Harrisburg, or not being from Harrisburg, but living in Harrisburg, and me being from Charlotte and living in Charlotte. And he immediately asked me, like, what are your boundaries? And that's why I felt comfortable to take him on my first date, because all the other guys, they were cool, but it's like they were more pushy and more like trying to like start fast. And Xavier was like, I'm play it cool. So, that was like our first real interaction.
Okay. So out of the dates that you all did, what was your favorite date on the show?
I really loved the Black Sand Beach.
Oh,
I would have to say that was my
that was
favorite.
beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And you know, like I love beaches. I love the ocean. I love being in nature and everything like that. And we had a picnic. We had a charcuterie board. I love a charcuterie board. I really do. So it was. I would say that was probably my favorite date, honestly.
Now, did we see all of the dates that you and Xavier had on the show?
You saw all but the final date. So the
Okay.
final date, they rented us a Porsche. We drove the Porsche to another villa.
What?
And in the other villa, he cooked dinner. We had a bottle of champagne on the beach. There was a hot tub. There was a foosball table. So after dinner and everything, we got like in our pajamas and stuff, and we played foosball. That was really fun. And then we just went to bed because we were like, oh, we're tired. Like we were tired. So that was basically what happened on the final date.
Okay. So now that the show has aired and it's been out for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
I believe. What is it that you want your fans to know? Because of course, lots of comments on Instagram, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Team Sydney, Team Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may have been a little shift when
Yeah.
everyone found out that when you came home,
Yes.
maybe after what, 4 or 5 days, you and Mikey reconnected.
Yes.
And so some people have some comments and some things to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
So will you speak on that?
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, going into Temptation Island, I was with Mikey.
Right.
Our plan was to leave together, go in, prove to each other, trust each other, everything XYZ. Clearly, the first bonfire created a shift in me and how I responded to it, and it pushed me to focus on myself, which and then turned into me building a connection with Xavier.
Okay.
So coming off of the island and talking to Mikey and finding out that a lot of what he said was, you know, heavily influenced, and that he didn't say my biggest fear is falling for one of you, but he said my biggest fear is sitting thinking I'm falling for one of you, and all the cuts and edits and everything. And the show really tells you, like, it's not about what you see, it's not about you know, what they're doing, but it's about how it makes you feel.
Okay.
So throughout every bonfire, they're like, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? So when I was sending my video to Mikey at the front of bonfire, everything was going off of how what I saw made me feel.
And I cried, by the way. But anyway, go ahead.
But,
it really got to me.
Yeah, so coming back home and just hearing him be like, I didn't say that. Like, they asked this in a hypothetical way, and it wasn't. But it was like, I still did feel that way, but at the end of the day, if I didn't see that, I would not have acted the way that I did. I would not have done what I did. So it was really just about being like, okay, this is the person who I went to Temptation Island with, and this was the person who I wanted to be with. So I would be lying to myself to say that I didn't want to give that another chance.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I think that as long as you learn and grow from it, like I can already tell just by social media, it looks as though Mikey has really grown from the experience.
Yeah.
And I know that he's in therapy now, so he's doing a whole lot, you know, just to make sure he is
exactly
good. I know that this was something, you know, that you and Mikey both agreed on doing. But do you have any regrets now? Like, do you think anything should have been done differently? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't have any regrets on how I went about everything based on what I was shown. But, you know, if I would have had more context, I do think I would have acted differently. But in the end, I feel as though, like, this whole process, I don't regret anything because it all gave me clarity.
Right. So that's good. So you feel like you've grown also from the experience? Well, that's amazing. That's really good.
Yeah.
And what are the friendships like now that the show has ended? Like, do you still talk to Kaylee, Scarlett, you know, Shyanne?
So, all of us girls are super close, you know, and we're all in different spaces right now. Scarlett's in San Diego, Kaylee's in New York, Shy's in LA, and I do plan on moving to LA.
That's going to be a question.
Yeah, I do plan on moving to LA, but, you know, I really just continue to bond with all of them, and it's been a great experience, and I love it, and I would love to bring Shyanne onto the podcast.
So, no further ado, we have another special guest here today. Let's welcome Shyanne from Temptation Island. Welcome, Shyanne, to the Prettiest podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, I want to hear all about your experience on Temptation Island? Because I'm thinking that it was not your idea to go on the show, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, how do you feel now that it's aired, now that it's out? We've all seen it. How are you feeling?
I am happy it's over. Let's
Okay.
just start with that. But so going into the experience, it was not my idea whatsoever. Right. It was all Jack. He is the one who forced me to go. But at the end of the day, I did agree, so I can't put all the blame on him. Right. I signed all the waivers myself, so. But I had a lot of hope going into Temptation Island. Like, deep down, I feel like I knew what was going to happen, but I was still holding on to that, like, little bit of hope that me and Jack were going to make it out, and everything would go my way.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's just not how it went, and so it ended with a really bad heartbreak. But I did learn a lot about myself, and, you know, I learned a lot about me and Jack's relationship and where we have kind of lacked with that, kind of just the way I talked about him and the way I treated him, like, that I have to take accountability for. But it just kind of taught me a lot. Like, we needed to spend time apart, and that's what we did.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so that's amazing. So I have to ask, because I know our viewers want to know, what is the relationship between you and Jack now?
So the relationship between me and Jack now is we're fully on good terms.
Okay.
I think I will always have love for him. I've been with him for so long that I don't think I could ever hate the man, no matter what he's done to me or how dirty we've done each other. Like, there will never be that separation between, like, love. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm always here to support him and just lift him up throughout this experience, and that's what we've done. But no, we are not together.
Okay, you all heard it from the source.
Exactly.
So,
The source.
Yes, absolutely. So I do love how strong you were on the show after the breakup. You know, I think both of you all mentioned, I'm ready to go home. Just get me out of here.
Oh, every day.
Every
day.
But you survived it.
We did.
Right? You survived it. And I think a lot of it was because you had each other and you had the other girls. So let's just talk about that for a minute, because I think just the sisterhood that you all showed, and just from what I'm hearing, how was that? I mean, did you all really have a lot of time to spend with each other? Even the four of you getting to know each other. If you could speak to that, because that seemed to be pretty amazing.
I would honestly say a lot of the time we spent together was on the way to bonfires, getting ready for bonfires, getting ready for dates. But outside of that, you know, they really just wanted us to be with whoever the guy was that we were talking to majority of the time. So whenever we did get that small break in the morning when we woke up to go to each other's rooms and talk, it was automatically, hey, come downstairs, let's talk to everybody. But being that most of the time that we spent together was very critical, like on the way to a bonfire, anxiety high, all of us talking, like that's what really made us bond, because we were bonding through trauma. Like, we were bonding through what are we about to see. Then it was after we saw it, now we got to pull each other together. Now we got to hold each other up, you know? So I would say that for me.
Yeah. I would say, like, yes, we got close in the house, but like Sydney said, it was those times whenever we were about to go see something that we knew was going to, you know, tear us down. I would say we really got close, like, after we left the island. Like, all of us girls, like, that's where we really connected, and, like, we finally got to talk without cameras, and, like, we got to really get deep without people telling us what to talk about and what not to talk about. So that is, like, definitely where me and Sid got really close. But I do have to say, like, I wouldn't have got through the island without Sydney.
Oh, wow.
Like, every morning she would pull me out of bed. Every night she would make sure I was okay. Like, so that's why I also am seeing something I want to bring up. I'm seeing a lot of comments that are like, you guys left Sid out.
Yeah.
You guys left Sid out. And I don't think that they did a good enough job putting how close Sid was to all of us girls, because I am telling you right now, Sid was our backbone. Like,
oh, wow.
All of us. Anytime we were about to break down, there's Sid. She just popped up, like, randomly. Like, she'd just be there. Me and Sid were definitely probably the closest on the island, because our rooms were right next to each other.
Yeah.
We got ready every single morning together. we would try and have our conversations, but
Yeah.
But you were still mic'd up.
We were still.
yeah. We would try and hit our mics or do whatever we needed to do.
But they can still hear it.
Yeah.
So funny. So let me ask you this. I know that one thing that Sydney did to, just kind of remain calm and peaceful was journaling.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your go-to in terms of being able to keep that sanity and, was it affirmations? Like, what did you do every day, if anything?
Honestly, I was so down bad. I was going through it. I would try and write in a journal or something, but it would just never go good. Like, I was just constantly, like, just writing down things that I didn't journal.
Right.
I tried. It didn't work for me. I would just go cry on Sid. Like, there was nothing I could do or anything anyone could say to make me feel better in that moment, because me and Jack had just been together for so long that it was like actually the worst experience of my life.
Right. And I'm so glad that you two had each other. Really, that all of the girls had each other.
Yes.
And that there was if nothing else, you got friendship out of this.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes. Lifelong.
So, exactly, lifelong friendships. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
So, my question is, I know online there is a lot, I guess people are just kind of doubting you and Jack and how long you were dating. Because you went on the show and said you were together for maybe about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some posts that's showing you and a Mahomes guy, I'm not sure of his first name, and they were
Jackson.
Okay, Jackson Mahomes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the internet is saying, how have you been with Jack for 5 years, but last summer you were hanging out with this Mahomes? Yeah. So can you address that?
Yes,
Clear that up?
I'll address it. I'll clear it up. But we have been dating for 5 or 6 years. I don't really know. 2019 is whenever
wow.
we first started talking to each other.
Okay. And you're both from Kansas City?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from the Missouri side. He's from the Kansas side.
Gotcha.
So let's just clear up the Jackson stuff really quick. Me and Jackson have never dated.
Okay.
I have been with Jack all of these years, but I was friends with him. And yeah, just that's it. We're just friends, but the internet will kind of run with whatever. I mean, I do see like the pictures, how people can kind of see it, like how he's all over me and stuff. But if you knew Jackson and you knew like his personality and stuff, like everyone would look right past it.
Yeah. I think the internet always tries to like create another narrative to add on to the one that's already, you know.
Right.
But if you look at like, if you really looked at some of the pictures and you actually went through the slides, like Jack is in the pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And of course, I haven't seen those.
It's just the ones of her and Jackson.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
They leave out all the other
Yeah,
context.
and it really just makes you wonder, like, okay, so what is going on here?
And like with sometimes, whenever you're in the media, like you can really do anything and like the internet can believe it, right? So if you want to post that's going to get a lot of views, or you want someone to start talking about you or something, like all you got to do is take a picture in a certain way or say a certain thing, and the whole internet's going to believe it.
Exactly.
So
So true.
we're just friends.
Yeah. So let me ask you all, how have you all handled the whole social media aspect and your mental health? Because that's a lot. That is a lot. So, Sydney, how have you been able to stay sane through it all? Because there have been some harsh comments, especially once
the reunion aired.
Once the reunion aired, and everybody found out about you getting back with Mikey. So, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I was just, we were really just talking about this yesterday. So the first, week and a half of the show being out, super busy everywhere. Austin, Texas, Miami, LA, so it's easy to be distracted when you're on the go. Right. But when I was in LA, my last 2 days by myself, I was just constantly going through the comments, going through the DMs. So it's when I have time to sit there and look at it, and I do, it will affect you. And I literally have to pull myself out of it. Okay, Sydney, we're done looking now.
We gotta go get coffee or something.
Just
put the phone down.
Put the phone down. Because I even texted you, and I was like, this is too much. I need to make a video. I need to make a video. And I'm so glad I didn't post the original video.
I am too.
That I wanted to post, because it wouldn't have aligned with who I am. And it was aligning with who I was in that moment, because that's how I felt. But it wasn't who I am as a person.
Right.
So, just, you see it, you have to take it like this is what we signed up for. Ultimately, we let the whole world into our relationships. We let the whole world into our life.
Yeah.
So now that everybody has an opinion about it, I can't be upset.
No.
You know, but can it affect my mental health? Yes. Do I allow it to? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just look at it like you're not going to be able to please everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. You could be the most amazing person in the world, and there is always going to be that one person that has something bad to say about you.
Exactly.
So, listen, we did what we needed to do on the island. We got through it. No one's going to understand what we went through unless you go on Temptation Island or you were on Temptation Island.
Right.
So, you just kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt and realize that some of these people are sitting in their basement. They have nothing better to do besides
warriors.
type.
That's a good name.
So you look at it and you move on.
Yeah.
And that's that.
So that's really good. What's next for you, Shyanne?
Well, I just moved to LA.
Okay.
Me and Jack we've always had this idea throughout our relationship when we were together that we were going to start a clothing brand.
Oh, wow.
And so just because things went the way they went on the island, we're both still going to continue to do that and start the business together. And so we do have a clothing brand coming out that's almost ready to drop.
Oh, I love that.
So that's.
Can you like give a little?
Yeah,
just a little information on what to expect. Like
it's
what
gonna
type
be
of clothes?
it's gonna be like streetwear kind of, but basic. So it's not gonna be a lot of graphics. It's just gonna be like super baggy clothes because me and Jack have always worn baggy clothes. Like that shit. If you know me and Jack, like you know we wear baggy clothes. And so that's just kind of what it's gonna be. It's gonna be basic sweatshirts, sweat shorts, jorts, all the above.
What's the name of the company?
It's gonna be called Baggy Dads.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Baggy Dads. Okay.
Baggy Dads.
And I thought you had been in LA for a while, but you've only been there
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So how is that coming from Kansas City going to LA? Are you enjoying it so far?
I am enjoying it so far, but it is different. It's like it's a big adjustment just because I'm from a really small town. I live on a bunch of land, and so in LA, you don't see much land.
No.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
so
different.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Both of you. I'm excited for what's next. So, all right. Well, this concludes the last episode of season 2 of the Prettiest podcast. Thank you both for being here. This was quite a treat to have you.
Thank you.
I knew we were going to do it with Sydney, but I didn't know we were going to have Cheyenne. So this was an extra bonus.
I didn't know I was either. I woke up this morning and said like, "Hey, you want to do this podcast with me?" I'm like, "Duh, sign me up."
Exactly.
But
well, this was amazing. So thank you for helping us to wrap up this season of the Prettiest podcast.
And it really is the prettiest podcast.
Oh,
We got the prettiest host.
Exactly.
And you all always remember, pretty is
as pretty
pretty does.
Bye.
Bye-bye.